Perfect Talk is what it do. It's your guy DJ Playboy back in the building representing for y'all. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we gonna do what we do on this episode. You know I gotta catch up with my guy Keef, tell him everything that's been going on in the news. Also, we gotta talk about your boy Jonah Hill acting real insecure in these streets. Also, Larry Nassar got himself caught up in the big house. Master P and Luther Vandross mix up on Google. What's going on here? And also, Michael Jordan had to speak on his son's relationship with Larsa Pippen. That and much more is Perfect Talk, baby.
DJ Playboy.
What's good, y'all? It's your guy DJ Playboy back with another episode of the Perfect Talk podcast. And you know I'm back in the building with my guy, my partner, my
Girl
dog.
Scream like I'm Keef.
What it do, brother?
Chilling. What it is, my brother?
Man, life is good. I can't complain, brother.
Yeah, I hear you.
How's everything on your side? I just came back from the I took my kid to the doctor. She just had a follow-up visit to the doctor. But everything's good. She's on the up and up. And actually I'm going tomorrow. I got my checkup. I ain't realized it's been 2 years.
you got your biannual, your intra-annual, I don't know what you call it. Every other yearly shit.
That's what it feel like, man. Like I gotta go. It was funny too. I took so long to really set up the appointment because I changed insurances once I left my other job.
Yeah.
And I just assumed they didn't take my insurance.
Yeah.
But yeah. So they do. Lo and behold, so I'm in there tomorrow. They was like, we can't get you into December. I'm like, nah. We gotta figure something out.
For a regular doctor? Damn, what they do? They do Botox up in that bitch?
It's weird, bro. Like I've been going there for a couple of years and I just get it'd be a lot of PAs.
Yeah.
Yeah, up in there. And then I don't know if it's a lot of quick turnaround and people just find another job, another offices to work in, but I felt like I've had for the past, I mean, I didn't go in the past 2 years, but even before that, I felt like I had 3 different doctors in a row for when I was going yearly.
Yeah. So you didn't feel like a connection to it. So like you didn't even think to schedule it and all that.
Yeah. That's why I'm wondering if I'm doing myself a disservice. Like, in that I should be seeing the doctor. You know, you can't build that rapport with seeing a doctor like yearly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't know if doctors really have that connection because they see so many patients, but at least from the patient standpoint, you feel like you have like, yo, this dude seen me for the past 5. He know what I've been going through. He know any trends and he da. So,
nah, doctors are good if they see you every year, and then like, especially like if like that's your go-to doctor. Like if something happens, like if you get sick or you hurt yourself or something like that, you call them up and or call her up, be like, listen, can I come in? And da. They start getting to know you, even though they might have like dozens of patients a day, 1,000 a year, whatever the number is. I think like they start getting to make connections, even ones that you don't see all that frequently.
Yeah, to the point where they can prescribe you without you coming in.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, go get some to treat that or something like that. You know what I mean? Like save us some time.
Yeah. Like you still dealing with that? Well, I know. Otherwise, you're healthy. That's probably some light work. Like just go pick up this from the pharmacy. You're good.
Nah, but yeah, it's getting important. We up there, 39. What's up? What's good on your side?
Me? Yeah. Well, firstly, I make sure I keep up with my doctor's appointments every year.
You go yearly?
Yeah. I'm pretty diligent about that.
Twice a year, right?
Dentist is every 6 months. I keep up with that too, and mostly because I just want to avoid like pain in the ass type stuff. I'm not, you never know. I mean, thank God that I ain't getting no devastating shit yet, but hopefully I could catch it early enough to whatever. So like I have a strong history of glaucoma in my family, so I got to see. Okay. Yeah, so I got to see the ophthalmologist twice a year and all that type of stuff. And then I just caught the snip yesterday, so I ain't having no more kids.
Oh, so yeah, well, to let the audience know, I know, but like, they're like, what are you talking about? You got cell phone disease?
Got neutered, man. Neutered, man. I got to wear that e-collar.
A lot of people
got a vasectomy, and I was thinking about that report thing you're just talking about, and the doctor, he's like, I ain't see him. I visited him in like 6 or 7 months ago. I only seen him twice. Once when I visited him the first time, and then right before the surgery for how much ever minutes. He's like, remind me again, there's something about somebody about to have a kid and all that. Like, yeah, I had a kid. Honestly, he probably wrote that in his notes, but he made it more conversational. But it made me feel like, oh yeah, I'm the dude, man. I'm the dude that was about to have a kid.
He's like, who's me?
Yeah, man. So
Now, I commend you for that, man, real quick. Don't even dust over. Like, it's something, what's funny is I remember having a conversation with Ambro on this podcast.
Yeah.
And we were talking about abortions and stuff like that. And he brought up vasectomy, like, as an alternative, kind of like don't feel like you got to have an abortion. Maybe if y'all know y'all don't want kids, you know what I mean? But he said it kind of like, it was new to him. It was new information, which
Yeah.
I don't know if it was or it wasn't, but it was saying that like this is an option that people don't think of, I never even thought of it like that, and it just goes to show like you got to talk about these things because there might be brothers that feel like you in our community who don't know this is an option for them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like we kind of just assume that it's public knowledge and anybody knows, but like it's a big move. Like I got one, and I'm done. I'm ready to be done, but I ain't ready to burn the boats. I'm like,
like them shit's on fire. Well, I'd say this. One, I wouldn't think of a vasectomy as a replacement for an abortion. Regardless of how you feel about an abortion, as far as having kids in the future, a vasectomy is more permanent, and abortion is not.
I worded it wrong. He said it as an alternative to birth control. I thought I shouldn't have said that as an alternative to abortion, but it was an abortion conversation we were having.
Yeah, it's a type of birth control. I mean, if you were to have a spectrum from pull out all the way up to just remove your equipment, I think vasectomy is probably closer to removal of equipment than it is to pulling out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No, but because it's permanent. It reminds me. I got certain milestones in Keef's life that I look at him with admiration. It's like the marathon. When you left your previous employer, and just like was like, yo, I'm out. And then the vasectomy, because it's like you're in a committed marriage, you know what I'm saying, and with kids, and it's pretty permanent. But it's like you looking at the statistics dead in the eyes and was like, I don't care if this don't work, the next one got to deal with it. You gotta accept it.
Well, yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, I think people the weirdest part about it is the conversations you have when you talk to people about it. They're like, nah, man, what if you want to have another one? And I think about people who they started their marriage saying, oh yeah, I want like 4 kids and this big ass brood and all that type of shit. And they have 2, and I'm like, they don't get a vasectomy, but like that's it. Like they just have 2, and whatever it is that they do to not have 3, 4, 5 or whatever, they don't have 3, 4, 5. So I feel as if a lot of people go with it. If I have one, I'll flow with the wind. If we have one, bring it in the family, you love it, and have a nice big family. But I just didn't feel like doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, we're getting older. We're not 29. We're not 19.
Man, I'm 39, like, man. I the past two weeks, I have Achilles tendinopathy. Basically, it's like Achilles tendonitis, but it doesn't fully go away, and it flared up. I first got it like 7 years ago, and didn't really bother me all that time. Flared up, shit was crazy, man. I was walking on rocks, back of my leg killing me, all that type of shit. And I was like, man, I gotta run after a motherfucker for about 20 more years. I felt like Willie Beeman, man. Like, man, I ain't come here to be tackling 200-pound motherfucker.
A coaching friend in San Diego made me a cornerback because he said I got quick feet. He's the one that separated my shoulder, had me out there tackling 250-pound motherfuckers. I don't do that kind of shit.
Be tackling kid running around, his energy don't end. That's it. Like he's just on 10 all the time. So yeah, I was like, yeah, 2 is a solid number. 1 boy, 1 girl.
Yeah,
hit the game, hang on my jersey.
I just want to know I could create life.
Yeah.
And then after I did it, I was like, man, I hope Keef could do it. I'm rooting for him.
Well, I'll be honest, man. There was those years because I didn't want a kid. But I'm like, I wonder if I can.
Yeah.
And a weird thought just flashes past your thought, like maybe you should just try one, let one loose, let one off just to see, make sure you're good, and then just. But thankfully, I was capable of creating a kid. But it's funny, like you hang your hat so long, I'm like, yeah, man, I ain't get nobody pregnant or whatever. Like whatever methods birth control I was using, it didn't happen. Then you want a kid, you get it, and then you get another one, and then you said, and then at least in my case, I'm like, I'm out the game, baby. But yeah, man, I think I listened to like not listen, but like I just Googled for like different people's stories on vasectomies, and even people around me, like wifey got a friend who they got 2 kids, and the kids are somewhere, I don't remember the age, but somewhere around 8 plus or minus. And they were keeping the boat line open just in case, like well, I can't even say just in case, but more so like you just do, like that's the normal.
You don't go get a procedure done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she was on birth control the woman was on birth control all them years, like but then I guess it was bothering her, the birth control, and then they say, oh, what are we gonna do? Say, well, we're pretty much done, right? Yeah, we're done. So the dude got a vasectomy. You know what I'm saying? So like just listening to a story like that, or even looking at stories of people in my life, uncles, aunts, all that type of stuff that don't have kids at all. And, you know, they're 50, 60, and it's like, well, you know, no one is telling them, or probably hasn't told them about the concept of boats and all that stuff. People told me, what if you remarry and that person want to have kids? I was like, well, you know, God forbid I got to get it back out there. It's going to be the first thing on my Tinder profile. It's going to be like, oh, I can't. I'm telling you, I'm not having kids no more.
But it is reversible, right?
It's reversible, but like the
percentages.
Let's say you want to have a kid, to reverse it for that purpose, you might not even succeed. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like if you're gonna if there's even a shadow of a, you know, a hope of I might want to have another kid, you might as well just not. You shouldn't get it. I mean, that's one of the things that the doctor told me. Like you should like you reverse it, or there's another thing where they could go straight into your balls with a needle and pull out some sperm, but then the woman will have to have IVF. So
really?
Because it's not enough sperm to, like, basically the egg is bombarded with sperm, like when you do it like naturally, or you do it with something called IUI where they kind of inject the sperm. But it's not like this gush of cells. So it's like you have a few cells, like you better make, if you're gonna go in your nuts, you want to know that it's gonna work pretty much. So it's like you go in, you get whatever number it is, and then you introduce it directly to an egg. You know what I'm saying? Like one sperm to one egg, make sure it works, and that's
you do that. Do you do that in like prior to, like kind of like before you would do the procedure, or is that something after
like
you do the
it would
procedure
be like
you still have
at
done?
the time you want kids, they would go into, because I can't. Well, at some point I'm not gonna be able to eject sperm out my body on my own. So they would go into my body with a needle or whatever they use and pull the sperm out.
Oh shit, I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, but they can't like just put it into the vagina and hope
it they gotta like test tube
an egg.
Exactly. Stuff gotta be
yeah. So they would be via IVF.
Nah, it's something I think about, bro, because I'm got a kid. I'm 39, but my girlfriend is younger and doesn't have kids. And you know what I mean? I'm like,
you're certainly in a different circumstance. I mean, it's such a personal decision, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to look at your circumstances. Like it's a lot of like soul searching, like, all right, but what if this, what if that? And people said all kinds of weird shit to me, like, what if one of your kids die? I'm like, my thought on it was that I'm forever gonna be a parent of 2 or whatever amount of kids I got. Like nothing changed. Like there's absolutely nothing that could change it if they.
I like the premise behind that question. Like you just get your replacement kid.
Get a replacement, and like the concept of replacing your kid.
Name him the same name.
Yo, that is just freaky. That's some thriller movie type shit. Yeah, man. People said all kinds of, if you remarry or get another one, and that I was like, nah, cause nah. I think a big part of it is that infant stage, and I also thought about like the type of parent I like to be. You know what I'm saying? Like it's difficult for me to imagine that the type of parent I want to be causes a lot of stress and anxiety, especially in that infant stage and being involved and all that type of stuff. So, I think saying I'm a parent or a biological parent of 2 kids, I'm there. Like I'm cool.
Yeah, no, it's hard, man. Like like you said, a lot of people might be doing things. I'm at this point in my life where I'm looking at all the cultural stuff that we do. Like, why do we do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you having a wedding because you want to have a big party and that's what mom expected you to do? And Are you having a wedding because you really want to marry this person? You know what I'm saying? Or are you having kids because like auntie keeps coming over? Like, why you ain't got no kids yet? You know what I mean? Or is this because there's a lot to it? It's not just have the kid and then it's like you buy a dog. The dog gonna die. The dog gonna have to shit outside. The dog gonna have to pee on some of your furniture. You accept that part, you know what I mean? But don't just think about the happy part. So it's really like, why are we doing all this stuff we doing? And it's like, to what you just said, it takes a lot of attention to raise a kid the way you want to raise a kid, you know what I mean? And depending on where your kid's growing up, it's different outside influences coming at them that you like my kid is telling me songs right now on the radio that I'm like, hold on. How you know about that new Glorilla? You know? And I'm like, I'm not, first of all, I'm offended she know it before me. And then I'm like, I gotta go back and listen to these lyrics now. Cause she and then the way, like it's not radio no more. She like listen to it on her tablet or she listen to it on the Fire Stick, and she reading the lyrics. That's how she learning the song. And I'm like, hold on. I'm happy you reading.
I mean, good job with the reading comprehension. I'm happy for that. However,
we gotta check out this content. What are we doing?
Yeah, man.
But man, to your point, it's a full-time job, and it really is, man. And I give a lot of energy to podcasting. I give a lot of energy to creating content, and then the rest of it go to parenting. Ain't none of it going to me, to be honest with you, because it's not that many hours in a day.
Yeah, man. Just a lot of I want to. I mean, well, when you have especially young kids like this, it does something to your marriage. I'm not necessarily saying good. I'm not necessarily saying bad. It just does something to your marriage. And at some point, I just kind of want to just get on with the evolution of just my life and all, marriage, the kids, and all that type of stuff. Because to go back to an infant is not to say that you're taking a step backwards, but you're back in that infant stage. And I'll be honest, for me, it was rough, the whole infant toddler stage, and all, or it has been rough on a personal level. But you know, that's not to say that it's not a blessing and all that type of stuff. I think that's cliche, so that goes without saying. But I'm like, all right, too. You know, I think you grew up in a household of two. I looked at a lot of people looking at their households and just looking at the dynamics. All right, they got two kids, and similar, you're a boy and a girl. In your case, and I'm like, two's a solid number. About the game, man.
It's a nice-sized family. Traveling with 4 people ain't easy. Taking family vacations.
Yo, man. I mean, traveling with 3 is a bitch. I mean, and then they added that 4. Then we thought about vacation this summer. I mean, the door's not closed on it, but it's not as easy as saying, oh, yeah, let's go to Jersey Shore or wherever we're going to go. It's just, you know, with 1, you'd be like, all right, let's just go to this whatever simple thing. But with 4, man, that shit, especially with 2 young ones, two under, well, at this point, 2 under 3 is dicey. So
yeah, you bring up a good point too, like the experience of when they so little. Like mine was, I was dealing with the court system and you know, all types of stuff. So I'm kind of curious on what the other side of it would be of living in a happy household and you know, doing it the right way. But I mean, if I don't find out, I'm I ain't gonna cry about it either.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like if you don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So like that, like the concept of, oh, but what if you had 3? But what if you wanted to have 4? There's a lot of people who never had kids who's like, man, I would like to have 1.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was given 2. So I'm just like, yo, like, how can I complain? You know what I'm saying?
Nah. Shout out to Keef, man. Keef is I always respect Keef because I mean, make a decision. Yo, this is what we doing. We rolling with it. You know what I mean? We making it happen.
It was funny because when I first went to him, my daughter was still in the, let me see, probably like 6th month of pregnancy, and I was at the urologist. Like, yeah, man, I want to get this done. He says, you know, you playing like think about having more kids, like that kind of conversation. Like, well, actually, I have one on the way. He said most people wait until that other one is born until they make the decision. I said, all right, bet.
He's like, can I get it today, nigga?
Hey, my nigga, you got something in the back? You could just. I heard y'all got a mobile truck like they be doing with dogs and shit. You could.
COVID style. Let's COVID style,
man. Yeah, man. So I took that advice and it was a good thing. It gave me time to really think through all this stuff. So, you know, about maybe like 5 or 6 months later, I said, all right, I think we're gonna do this, and then. Here I am right now with ice pack in my underwear. So,
yo, it's been a minute since we talked to my guy Keef, and you know, whenever some time has passed, we gotta do my favorite segment, man. Catching up with Keef.
Sing it. Been so long. Catching up with Keef.
That's why I just see some headlines in the past couple of weeks, and you know, bringing to my guy Keef just to see what his opinion on. I might already told y'all how I feel. First up, man. I remember hitting y'all in the group chat, telling y'all about Adam 22 and Lena The Plug, or Lena The Plug. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I think maybe Lena. And y'all like, who the hell are these people? Who are you talking about?
And if you know these people, you nasty.
And then I just put y'all on the game. I let y'all know that, you know, they got a podcast, Adam from No Jumper. They do the plug talk together. They'll have a porn star on. You know, maybe at the end of the podcast, they'll have sex with the porn star. Eventually, Alina, you know, had a kid. Decided she wanted to get back in the game, decided to do a scene with Jason Love. And Adam 22 got roasted for it. But I think in what probably the best use of flipping a story it's kind of like accepting it, like right, like he knew he was gonna get cracked about it, but he kind of was just like, hey, this is what my wife does for a living, and I don't think he's ashamed by it. I mean, they are porn stars. I don't think he's embarrassed by anything anybody might have to say. Another point somebody brought up was like there might be some issues going on at No Jumper, and this totally took all the attention away from people leaving the podcast network.
Huh? Oh, that's a podcast network. No Jumper.
Yeah, that's what he Adam runs. It's the No Jumper podcast, and then they have a circle of different podcasters on their network. But this took away attention of people leaving that network. You know what I mean, or why they were leaving that network. And it's the you know what they say, like what do politicians do when there's you know what I mean? President Clinton got caught up. He's like, all right, shit, let's bomb somebody.
Oh yeah, that too. create a distraction.
Exactly. But what do you think about that whole situation? Like, it's very unorthodox. Not a regular marriage. That like, you know what I mean? It's not like you're looking at somebody who's goes and does a 9 to 5, and his wife is just like, I want to fuck a BBC star. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and we ain't talking about no British broadcaster. Yeah, but I feel my belief is that under any unorthodox lifestyle, there's some level of orthodoxy, something in the psychology. And my true belief is that somewhere in Adam's brain is that typical jealous guy, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of words that have it has like these negative connotations now, but the possessive guy, the jealous guy, and not in the negative way. It's more so like, that's my lady, like
the normal way that you feel about your wife.
Exactly. Right? Like to even think about her, even think about her, a guy says, hey, you're pretty. She's like, yeah, I am. Like that alone, I'm like, oh, infidelity, kid. Like, so now and
chill out, Kanye's wife.
I don't react to it. I'm just saying, like the concept of it bothers. The truth is that just a regular old Orthodox dude, it bothers him. It could be it bothers him a very little. It could be it bothers him a lot. Hopefully not.
Even to your point, she's an attractive lady. Even if she wasn't responding to it or doing what she does for a living, you probably still might have those insecurities.
Exactly. So I wonder if the fact that he does, like, you know, all this happened. She had a scene on camera, a porn scene on camera with another guy, outside of the marriage, like, and Adam kind of took it in stride. I'm skeptical as to whether he's like 100% okay with it. Maybe I want to believe like maybe 97, but something in his mind, you know. And then he interviewed the dude who had the scene with his wife, and I was like, man,
that's the marketing of it. He's making tons of content off of it. Yeah, and I think the actual sex scene is their content. Like you have to log on to their OnlyFans to see it.
Wow. Okay.
So maybe that's how he copes with it. Maybe that's just how he the
money, the profit.
Yeah, whatever. He's just like, hey, this is a business transaction or whatever the case may be. He did say once on the Flagrant podcast, I watched him. He was like,
are there any porn trends you think are too weird? Oh, like any stepsister thing, like the sister brother thing?
Well, I feel lucky that we don't have to do that. Well, what we make from the average Plug Talk scene is so much more than anybody would ever.
What do you guys make on Plug Talk?
Many hundreds of thousands of dollars a month.
I believe
she hates when I talk about it, but
you know, I think it's good to get it out there.
But I never listened to watch the podcast, but on the podcast you said that they have sex with people after the recording of the podcast. When you say they, like he like penetrative sex with whoever the guest is.
Yeah, so him and Lena will have like a threesome with the star.
Is usually a woman.
So the person, the guest that they interviewed.
The guest is usually a woman.
I think. Well, yeah, I don't. He hasn't had like male MMF. I think they call it. 2 males and a female. He hasn't had that kind of scene with Lena in it, I don't believe.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so it's just been, so he's been effectively, he's been the one having like you know, biblical sex with a person, and she's kind of been doing the other stuff.
Yeah, well, because like sometimes they'll do the threesome. Sometimes he won't even like they'll get another male porn star to just come and fuck the girl and just make a scene out of it.
But not Lena.
Yeah, not Lena. No, it'll be like whoever the girl that they interviewed. But then sometimes it'll be him and Lena. Like I've seen scenes with him and Lena doing another.
I wonder if it's the dynamic of like one of those things where one of the spouses, you know, they get married and their home life enters a certain circumstance, and they're like, all right, I'll stay home for my career, and then you know you become the breadwinner, And then years later, they're like, all right, I think those circumstances have changed. And I want to get back into the to the workforce. In her case, it's, you know, she got back into the workforce with plenty of force. And then the interview after, the whole thing, man, it just, I'm not even married to her. And I'm like, yo, man, like the interview after, you know, they're like, oh, well, you know, Lena's had a kid and stuff. And they're like, oh, I figured since you had a kid, like things would kind of be more, you know, malleable and stuff in your pelvis or whatever. And she's like, nah, man, it hurts the heck. And I'm like,
like 3 days.
Yeah. I'm like, God, I don't know. It's horrific, man. The whole thing
shout out, but they
horrible.
they profiting off it, bro. The numbers got to be through the roof. Like you said, you probably never watched a No Jumper interview and you've seen that clip.
Yeah,
because you know what I mean. And then you said Jason Love has an interview with Adam 22 as well.
Yeah, this is all on social media, and and then the stuff you put in the group chat, and then on social media, I happen to see it. And
now your algorithm is showing you mad Adam 22.
Yeah, but it wasn't like his posting. It was like somebody posting about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's what happens, man. Yeah, they know what they're doing. If you don't have the shame, right? You can't publicly shame someone who don't give a fuck.
That's the thing. They're taking away all that shame. So I mean, regardless of how they feel, I guess maybe the other stuff they're dealing with behind the scenes or whatever. But man.
And in the age of OnlyFans, the Foot Finder websites where people are making these type of money, or the sugar baby market, you know what I'm saying? This might be the new evolution of relationships, being okay with your wife having some type of, whether it's sexual or just friendship, what they call them, the sugar baby, you know what I mean, thing. She might have something where you as a boyfriend might have to be like, yo, she's making money for the house. Should I be tripping about this? I don't know if we from that generation. I don't know if we can handle it.
Yeah, I can, man. What is a sugar baby exactly?
Oh, when a younger, like let's say a college age or 20, a woman in her 20s hangs out with like an elderly man, and he pays her for her time.
Oh, okay. Well, firstly, I say it's pretty cool and progressive to flip that type. I know of the sugar daddy.
Sugar daddy is what they call the males,
right? But to give the woman the agency in it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so like a sugar daddy is looking for a sugar baby.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast. I can't remember the title of the podcast, but it covers different criminal cases, and they did a season where they covered Max B. And, you know, he went to prison for something murder related. And basically the story started when some dude tried to talk to Max B's girl, and Max B's girl went along with it. And, you know, the dude had a lot of money and took her out on all these fancy dates and concerts and all this type of stuff. And, she told Max, he's like, oh man, I've kind of been cheating. He said, the dude got money, and then that's how the whole thing went off. They went to go rob him, and somebody died. But yeah, just the concept is
some dudes is okay. So I mean, some dudes pimp out their girlfriends. Like that's not, you know, unheard of.
Yeah, there's different lifestyles.
Different we not from that, so you know what I'm saying. Like we, I guess I wouldn't understand growing up. I was trying to have a sitcom with my family.
Exactly. I wanted to be a cop and have my 3 kids.
Man, Keef, catching up with Keef, man. Did you see the footage of Brittany Spears getting slapped by Victor Wembanyama's security?
I did not see it. I don't think I'll be able to watch it, but I think I got the gist of it. Like she tried to run up and hug Victor from behind, and the security roughed her up a little bit.
Security kind of swatted away at her. She, you know, she's running up for a couple feet, yelling, "Sir, sir, sir!" And then, like, once she gets close, security kind of does a back swat. And it hits her right in the face. So
they didn't square up and slap her. It was more so like kind of like
we're walking this way. You're following us. Get out of here. Like kind of like flee off. But it just so happened that his slap hit her like directly in the face.
The hit was very square and flat.
Yeah. But he didn't turn up and like,
bitch. That's what all the captures made it seem like. I thought like some old 6'5", 320-pound dude turned around, said, "Hey, get away," and then kind of came through with the, you know,
pimp name slip back.
Yeah, or you know the new sport where people hold on to the joint, and I thought it was some joint like that, like the dude put talcum powder on his hand. And just...
Brittany had her hands behind the back.
Yeah, that's crazy. But now I feel kind of differently about it. And I saw when Victor Wembanyama, like the day after or 2 days after he was at practice, and at the presser, he addressed it.
Yeah, well, he's asked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then but he tried to make it seem like he was roughed up, like, oh, she had grabbed my shoulder, and then the video came out. She's like, she didn't even touch you, bro. I think your security guard grabbed your shoulder.
Yo, you could tell he's a child star effectively. So like because like a ball player, you'd be like, well, either it would be no comment or whatever. He said, I was accosted. I was accosted. She grabbed my shoulder. I could have dude, Victor, man.
He might believe it though. You ever hear the concept of like when you have a memory, or like remember like when we was in school, we talk about a fight, and then you start really believing the story of your memory. Shit ain't even go like that.
Yeah. Because a lot of it, he probably didn't even realize was happening because the security was looking out for him. Maybe.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, Brittany got caught up, man. Happened in Vegas. At the Catch restaurant at the Aria Hotel. We're gonna see what's happening of it. I don't think nothing's gonna come on it. I think Brittany was a little mad, but she's not really pressing charges or anything like that. And I think, the NBA, they probably work with the police anyway out in Vegas. So they probably was able to, figure it out behind the scenes or whatever. And I don't think charges would be pressed. But it does show you, like, Brittany, you famous, but you can't just be running up on people. Like, that's not cool.
Yeah, like she's not today famous. Like you don't see I don't know what older star. You don't see just Nas running up on random like Travis Scott or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta identify yourself. Like take your hat off. Nas, all right, cool.
Nah, we gonna see what's gonna happen with that. But catching up with Keef. I want to get your opinion on one more situation, the Keke Palmer situation. If you weren't aware, Keke Palmer went out to go watch Usher out in Vegas at his residency, and her boyfriend decided to do what's known as mom shaming her. And the outfit that she was
wearing. Is that a real thing, or was it invented when that happened? Because they,
I've never heard the term before this. I've never heard it before, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I never heard it though. Yeah. But who else? I mean, other than Lena The Plug, how many moms out there you gonna try to mom shame?
Well, that's true. This is the mom shaming episode. She's a working mom and people trying to attack her.
Nah, but how did you feel about that whole scenario? Like, I thought it was kind of corny that he hopped in the comments on Twitter. It's like once you take it to that point, I can't take that serious in the relationship.
Yeah, I thought it was a joke at first. I thought he was like kind of kidding. I found it hard to believe that he was serious, but it's apparently it was a real thing. And I don't think she's the problem per se, but I think the bigger problem was the whole Usher thing. Like because he's singing to her? I think it appeared that he was trying to get at the way she dressed, and I don't think that's the problem. I think it's the way
his first comment was, "It's the outfit though." ... You a mom,
right? I don't think at least it shouldn't be the problem. I can't say that it's not the problem. Shouldn't be the problem. It should be like everything else.
Well, I think he started getting backlash, and then he was like, "Well, let me expound upon this." And that's when he hit them with we live in a generation where a man of the family doesn't want the wife and mother of his kids to showcase booty cheeks to please others. And he gets told how much of a hater he is. This is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe. I rest my case. But it's also like, and I don't know if you pay attention to the Usher, residency, but he just goes up to celebrities in the crowd. Like I was seeing. So it's not like Keke planned this out.
Right.
Like I'm wearing this outfit to go sing on Usher on stage.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Like I get it, you upset at your girl, but pull her aside for that, bro.
Yeah, I would say that, sometimes just I go to therapy and a little bit of therapy with her. He should go hire whoever Adam 22's therapist is, kind of get his mind right, kind of be more secure in yourself. You know what I'm saying?
It's two different ends of the spectrum, right?
Well, sometimes you gotta overdo it as far as making yourself better. Overdo it. Like if you have a little heart murmur, go to the best cardiothoracic surgeon out there. Be like, get me right. Even though he's used to cracking open chests and putting stuff together. But I want to go to the best. And I could imagine Adam 22. By the way, Adam 22 psychologist must be bananas, man. Man, you just dude, self-esteem is off the chain.
I think he's from the BMX community. The extreme sports people, they don't care. They kind of they don't care about their own life, huh?
Keke's boyfriend?
No, Adam 22.
Oh, okay, okay.
The tattoo on the face, you know what I'm saying? Lifestyle. Yeah. I'm out here, I'm doing crazy tricks. I might bust my head open, but I got no helmet on.
Yeah. That's definitely a crazy trick. But back to the Keke boyfriend thing, man. Yeah, I mean, it was very corny to go on the internet like that. But you happen to know how old he is?
Let me see. I think he's in his 30s. Let me see if it comes up.
But to a certain extent, man, for some people, it's not necessarily a generational thing, but certain, a certain generation tends to be on social media more. Like your whole life is lived out on there. So I don't think he's famous, or maybe he's just not accustomed to knowing that whatever he says is being watched in that way.
Yep. No, I'm not pulling up anything, but I feel like I did see his age. 28. They said he was born July 1994. So yeah, that if you 28, yeah, like you said, to that point, social media is life to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Keith, we're gonna move on to my favorite segment, dog. This one is called Have You Heard? And keeping along the same lines with relationship issues, man. I don't know who Jonah Hill pissed off this week, but he got ladies mad. And particularly his ex-girlfriend, Sarah Brady, who after months of being broken up, decided she wanted to release the text of what Jonah Hill said to her. And I was a little understood because they were using this term like he was abusing her. I don't really think he was abusing her. I don't know if I go that far, but mental abuse is a thing, right? So I don't want to belittle it. But it's just like he was just being weird, being really insecure. Some of the things he texted Sarah Brady, who I understand to be a surfer, right? That's who I knew her to be. If you look at her Instagram, that's what you see.
She's a professional, like surfer.
That part is up in the air.
At the very least, she's very avid. Like she's pretty good. Like this is something like she does. Like
because I remember when he first got with her, people would say that she was a surf instructor, but she kind of felt.
So she's into like that's her thing. Like
she's definitely into the surfing lifestyle. That's like 100%. She's into that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't know if she's a professional surfer, but she's nice too. I mean, she can't do shit. You know what I mean? Like ain't her first day on it. She surfs. That's a thing. I don't know if she professionally makes money off of it or she's famous for other reasons, but I know she's known as being a surfer. He sent her a text, and obviously it's out of context. We're kind of seeing it, but he goes, plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, if you need to model, if you need to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, or have friendships with women who are in unstable places and are from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or a coffee or something, I am not the partner for you. If these things bring you a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feeling. These are my boundaries for my romantic partnership. my man said you can't wear a bathing suit, and he met her surfing.
Yeah, I see now the concept, because I heard about the whole bathing suit thing, and I didn't agree with it. But now I think it's even more egregious given her profession. Like she's she's in the surfing profession, and like that's just what you wear. And the fact he said that is just. But like, to your point though, it's weird and not. I don't know if it crosses that line of all right, now you're an abuser.
People kept trying to point out the fact that he used the word boundaries, and he does use the word boundaries a few times. Mm-hmm. My boundaries, which are based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. He goes, these are the boundaries for our romantic partnership. They were saying his use of that word that's a therapy term, and he was trying to but he was using it incorrectly. Those aren't boundaries; those are rules that you have. And I think in his mind, he was like, "But I was giving her the out. I was saying, if you don't want to deal with this, then boom, like go." Right. But it's also like, fam, she was like, you hopped in DMs of me in a bathing suit picture. Like you commented on this post.
Oh, that's how they got together?
No, they're not together no more. He said,
no, but that's how they got together.
That's how they got together. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I didn't even think about. He says that you can't do the bathing suit thing, right? And I'm in my head, like, 'cause I don't understand surfing lifestyle, but I was looking at her the day that she dropped this, and I don't know. She to her own admission, she suffers from mental health issues as well. But she had made a good point. She was like, he would rather me wear a wetsuit as opposed to a bathing suit. And I was thinking about it. She's on the beach. That wetsuit can't be comfortable in a bathing suit.
Right.
So he wants her to put on a full scuba outfit.
A full Navy SEAL joint. Just like a Navy hole joint while her rocking waterproof boots and shit. Yeah, that's bugged, man. I don't
like the fact, and then that made another child star come out and say that she had an experience when she was 16 at a party with Jonah Hill where he forced himself on her, like he kissed her, which I respect her coming out if that truly happened. I don't like the fact that it came out after somebody else decided that they wanted to do something completely unrelated to Jonah Hill. Like that part feels like piling on, but it's also like I can't tell a victim how to be a victim of something.
Exactly. Like, it's a tough one. What I would say is that I wonder to what extent, because all these things fall on a spectrum. I don't think that could be argued. I want to wonder to what extent that they kind of there's some kind of conflation between like what all these various actions are. Do people just drop them all on the same part of the spectrum that he's an abuser, so therefore all these actions are on the abuser part of the spectrum.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't like that. I think that's abuse. I mean, I'm not enough. I haven't studied enough about relationship therapy to really say what I would say abuser is, but I feel like that's just an insecure dude in a relationship, and it's on us as fathers of young women. You know, I mean, with young girls now, but who will eventually be young women to like, yo, get away from this dude. Like he's weird. Like she shows more text, and there's one of her texts where he goes, "Oh, and modeling is the last profession I would want to be with as a partner. It must be hard feeling so trapped," to her. And she goes, "Well, maybe you should have asked me about what I do for work before you decided to date me. It's a little late now." And it's like, but it's true. Like, why would you even choose her as like he's mad over certain pictures because not even full thong, but like how girls got the cheeks out. That's just what
the bathing suit. Yeah, especially
now
nowadays,
had the cheeks out.
Yeah, the bathing suits are not those big old full ones that people used to wear back in the day.
They're a bit more full bottom. I think they call them.
Yeah, right.
But they're cut in a certain way where they're showing some of her butts, cheeks, or whatever. Right. But it's just like she's not at the supermarket.
Yeah, it's appropriate. It's appropriate for the setting.
Yeah, exactly.
Much. Very appropriate.
But yeah, we gonna see. I don't know who he pissed off, man, but we gonna see what happened with Jonah Hill in that regard. Because
from what I heard, and this is not by no means like some kind of reporting or nothing, but from what I heard just in passing was that she was getting like annoyed with people saying, "Oh, you were Jonah Hill, like, oh, he's such a great guy," and she's like, "Oh, no, he's not," and then like release this type of stuff. Now, don't take it as like some kind of report. Now we're doing your own Googling, but this is what I heard.
But that would make. I can't imagine being on her end of in a relationship, but that would make me mad if someone I knew was kind of a jerk people kept being like, "Oh, why'd you break up with him? Oh, what I mean? Why aren't you guys together? He's so cool." And before this, I kind of knew him to be admired. I knew people that like him, so you know what I'm saying. And again, he's just weird though. Like I think he went through a whole thing because he doesn't kiss Lauren London in the movie, right? Mm-hmm. Like they CGI
I didn't realize. Mm-hmm.
But he made it a whole.
I did not know that.
Oh, you didn't know it was a CGI kiss? Yeah.
Nah.
I thought it was because of her. I thought Lauren London didn't want to kiss him, to be honest with you. But
like
I guess
stuff and all that.
She released text where he's going through this whole thing. Like she was like, "Yo, you just hit me up today asking if you could kiss a beautiful, talented woman," and I'm like, "Go ahead." she's like, "Why?" Are you
he felt uncomfortable because of his relationship.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah,
but he was like, but they might need it for the movie. He like, you know what I'm saying? He was kind of like, "Are you cool with this?" And she's like, "I don't give a fuck." Like it's like Lauren London don't want to fuck you.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, to that point of mental health stuff, I mean, I think probably just the way he imagines a relationship, unfortunately, clearly it's not for everyone. I mean, it's weird, but I would love to know like his views on it. I probably will never know. He probably will be unwise to try to explain it.
Yeah, he got to just fade off. Yeah, but to his point, I think he is allowed to feel that. It just seems really stupid to date. It's like me going for a Victoria's Secret model and then getting mad she got her tits out. Like, bro, why did you choose her? Right. He's gonna find some like traditional. What do they call them? Trad wives. He's gonna find a traditional.
That's what they call trad wives.
Yeah, she's more in the traditional, like, just values. Man, so she won't be out there showing
on all the new terms, man. Trad wife.
She won't be out there with the cheeks out. You know what I'm saying? She ain't out there doing BBC scenes. Like she's fully like, you know what I mean? Keke Palmer's boyfriend will be happy to have a trad wife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
just kind of like a conservative lifestyle.
Home with the kids. Like, exactly. But exactly. I think niggas get tired of that too. What is it? There's what do you call it? The Madonna whore complex. Like we want our wives to be like the Virgin Mary. But then we also have a desire for whores, like women who are just sexually loose. So it's like you can't get that in one, but then sometimes women try to be both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it's trying to find the perfect mix of the two, I guess.
Yeah.
The men's complex.
Yeah, I guess the point of all that being that is clearly it's tougher for women in many aspects of life, especially how people view them.
Yeah, and with society changing, the rules of what was cool on social media 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it's a whole different platform now. Different things exist.
Yeah.
You'd get mad if your girl took a picture. Now you just hope she's not twerking on these platforms. You know what I mean?
And if she is, that's completely her right.
Trad wife in it, man. Keef,
just don't do it.
Have you
with Jonah
heard?
Hill.
Your boy Larry Nassar got jammed up in the bang, man. Got stabbed 10 times. If you're not familiar with who Larry Nassar is, he is the former what is his term? Like he was like the team doctor almost for the U.S. Olympic women's gymnastics. But more so for like muscles and like orthopedic stuff, right?
Yeah.
But he sexually assaulted. Like he wasn't a gynecologist or anything like that, but he was sexually assaulting the young ladies in the not only I think the Olympic team, but
Michigan State, one of the big Michigan schools.
Exactly. So yeah, he got jammed up and he's in jail for a long time. He was convicted and I'm not sure how long his sentence is, but he's been in jail for a few years now, maybe like 2 or 3. Like that. Huh?
I think it's like effectively life because it's like
150 years. But he's been in there so far. It happened like 2-3 years ago. He was jammed up.
Yeah.
I think. And now he got stabbed this week by an inmate who identified himself as Shane McMillan. He's been locked up since 2006, and he's actually, had other offenses. He's tried to stab another inmate at the federal Supermax prison in Colorado, and he attempted to kill a correctional officer, and he attacked Larry Nassar in his cell, stabbed him in his neck, chest, and back before 4 other inmates rushed in and pulled him off of Nassar. Said he did it because of comments that Larry made while watching Wimbledon, where he inferred that he would rather be watching little girls play instead of women.
Wow.
Which I don't know why he felt comfortable making that comment. But it's weird, right? Like, because you hear about what's supposed to happen to pedophiles in prison, right?
Yeah, right.
So it's like when you hear that something happened to Jared or something happened to Larry Nassar, Jared from Subway, or Larry Nassar, you're like, oh, justice happens. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like it really, or even I think what's his name got jammed? The Dahmer, right? He got killed in prison, right? And it's kind of like, hey, it's almost like you get what you deserve type of thing. Like you fucking with little kids, you out here eating people, you're serial killer, whatever the fuck you doing. You kind of there should be some type of justice to it, but this seemed right on par with that. Like
that's well, firstly, I wonder if the justice side, I wonder if he really
said that
stuff, because it seems
or
pretty,
they just use it as a.
It seems very right on the nose. Like it was like, yeah, man, he just, what he just told me? Did y'all hear that? And they're like, nah, man, I'm just trying to watch some tennis, bro. He said he would rather see little girls play.
He's like, I said nothing like that, bro.
He's like, yo, my mouth was full. I didn't even say nothing.
Nah, Larry. Yeah, I don't. Obviously, we don't condone violence of any sort to anybody else. Even when Casanova 2 times got jammed up in prison, and I think he got slashed. And then like you kind of expect that to happen when the big rapper dude gets into a prison fight. That then his boy is going to attack the guy. Something happens. Like I don't even feel like it's newsworthy, but something like this, I feel like we got to talk about, because it's like we're parents, but even before we were parents, we knew how disgusting it was to be a pedophile, and like the fact that this motherfucker got away with that shit for so long, it was covered up. The FBI didn't do nothing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like I can't imagine his victims felt any type of way, you know what I mean, of sadness when they heard the story.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's getting what you deserve. It really is, man. But he did survive. They did take life-saving measures to keep him alive. But who knows? They might try to attack him again. Motherfuckers don't like that shit.
I wonder if there's a part of him that wishes he would have died, and he was like, "Please don't stitch up that artery." Or, well, he's a doctor. You might have told him the wrong stuff to do. Like, please just give me some more of that stuff right there. That'll fix me right up.
I don't know, man. Usually at this point, I'd say wish you the best, but I do not wish Larry Nassar the best, man. And we'll see where this story goes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he's gonna be under a ton of protection now, because don't nobody want that bad press coming to the prison. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, No, I think definitely. Is it federal prison or?
I want to say he's locked in federal prison.
Okay.
You know what's funny though? Speaking of that, like you know how they're closing Rikers.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that's
they would like to. I don't know how that's actually getting rolled out, but yeah, I know of it.
Yeah, and then they recently had a law where New York correctional facilities don't have to release the like violence that happens inside.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were like, that doesn't need to be public knowledge anymore. I think that's part of the reason why they want to close Rikers, because so many incidents happen.
Yeah,
that they're like, all right, we got to spread these guys out or whatever the fuck. But it's like to this point, it was like, and why wouldn't any prison just not want to tell when something bad happens inside? But they have to, right? Like, because the press, how does the information get out? Like, how do we know about Larry Nassar? Like, maybe he has to go to an outside hospital. So once that happens, like,
I guess, I mean, he's so famous that people, oh yeah, that's a dude that whatever. Like,
and then
even
family
has
to start talking.
Because
right?
they got to tell you, like your family, they got to tell somebody.
Yeah. That's crazy, bro. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that, man. Keith, have you heard? Google had a mix-up involving Master P and Luther Vandross. So if you were to go on Google around July 4th, July 5th, and Googled Master P, if Googled Luther Vandross, a picture of Master P comes up. And underneath it says Luther Rosani Vandross Jr. was an American singer, songwriter, and record producer. His sweet and soulful vocals sold over 40 million records worldwide, and it's literally just a picture of Master P smiling, and social media had a field day with it.
Which before or after the veneers?
It looked like post veneer. It looked like recent.
Post veneer. Okay, recent.
Hairline back hair.
Gotcha.
But nah, it is. Do you think this was a human mistake, like because of somebody just going in, or do you think it's AI and really not being able to tell the difference between Luther Vandross and Master P? Because that's what Questlove came out and tweeted. He was like, "This is why humans aren't replaceable." You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't feel like that was somebody trying to be funny.
I think they succeeded, man, because that's pretty funny. I mean, I feel as if that's pretty funny, and is I think it's harmless. I mean, I hope it's harmless. I don't want to. A week from now, we doing the same podcast. I got to issue an apology because millions died because of this mix-up. But this is it's funny, man. Is it a human mix-up? I guess in the sense that there was nobody there to correct it, like. But stuff like this, not like this exactly, but there's all kinds of weird mistakes that happen on the internet. You know what I'm saying?
There's got to be, yeah. It just so happened that someone with a big enough platform decided to tweet it out.
Yeah.
At this point in time, but
like when the news does it, like, oh, Alfred Woodard won this award, and it's a picture of Whoopi Goldberg or something like that, like all that type of stuff. It's just like it's always happening. It's always just silly. I mean, of course, there's a certain thing of like not all black people look like, particularly when it involves like issues of race. But yeah, I mean, AI can't replace people, but I feel as if like mix-ups like this, it was from people that I first started seeing mistakes like this.
And people do funny shit on Wikipedia all the time, like to try to. So who knows if that would have threw shit off too.
Yeah, it's like when basketball players get dunked on, then they put date of death, like that day that they got dunked on that hard, and then somebody got to go correct it.
Oh yeah, man. Keith, have you heard Michael Jordan decided to finally comment about Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan's relationship? When asked by a member of TMZ if he approved of it, he gave a resounding no and walked away. Marcus and Larsa have a podcast called Separation Anxiety, where Larsa said she was kind of hurt by it, and Marcus had to step in and be like, dad just being dad. You know what I'm saying? He goes, he's like, I know how Jordans do. You know what I mean? We just be joking. It was funny because I never heard anyone refer to the Jordan family as Jordans.
Yeah,
I was like,
because there's a singular term. He's like, yo, Jordan.
About sneakers. What was we talking about right now?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Whenever it's plural, it means sneakers, so you're not allowed to say it like that.
But basically saying the Jordan family, we joke like that, and that was his dad, kind of being competitive, kind of joking. And also, he revealed that Michael Jordan called them after it happened, before it got released by TMZ, to let him know what happened. Because he knew. Because I'm like, yo, Dad, you're making shit harder for me right now. What you doing? But I also think Michael Jordan wants to get to where he's going. He don't want to talk to TMZ about his son fucking his ex-teammate's wife.
You know what? Like, when you set up this whole story, so Michael Jordan's son is dating Scottie Pippen's ex-wife?
Oh, you ain't know? Yeah. Marcus Jordan dates Larsa Pippen.
Wasn't she dating like some ball player on the Lakers or something?
I think she was fucking him. But they've been together for like a few months now, but I don't know if that was like a relationship. But no, I think one of the players, like her son's in the league now, right? If I'm not mistaken. I think she fucked one, like a basketball player that he plays with now.
Okay.
Because she kind of loose. I mean, not in a bad. I mean, by her own admission.
She loosey goosey, not in a bad way. I mean that as a compliment.
That was the image she's putting out. What I'm saying though, like I think she wasn't.
Well, she's liberated. Like she's dating. She's out in the dating scene. She's embracing her.
Lena The Plug.
Yeah. I don't know if she's no Lena, but I think it's Lena because it has a tilde over the end and shit. But come on, man. I mean,
she ain't Spanish. She like whatever Kim Kardashian is or whatever. Armenian, right? Yeah, Armenian.
Is she?
Yeah, she's Armenian. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I seen an interview with her once. She was like, they want to praise Kim Kardashian over there. They want to kill me. I'm like, wow. Well.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, but yeah, kudos to Jordan, man. I mean, you put a mic in front of Jordan, a microphone in front of Jordan, like that's Jordan's gonna say some shit. Like he doesn't want to talk, but he's like, yo, that it probably bothers him, man. I mean, can't front like that was.
I think it bothers him that the media's like outside people asking him about it. That bothers him. I don't think he cares that his son is messing with Larsa Pippen.
I think he cares
because of his friendship with Scottie. Are they even cool?
I doubt they're cool, but it's just something there, man. Like it's like right. That was your guy. You know, it's not your. I don't know how friendly they ever were, but there's got to be there's certainly a strong bond between the two of you at the very least. Even if it's not friendship, even if it's not love, there's something there. Like y'all, in the world's eyes, until the end of your days, like it was Jordan and Pippen. Like people use that as like a metaphor, like, oh, you could be the Pippen to my Jordan and all that type of shit. So, you know, I would imagine he would prefer for them not to be together. It's probably not as, you know, so intense where it's like he's talking to him like, yo, you got to break up with her now, or if she comes by the crib or whatever. It's, you know, but I would imagine it's weird because if he's like, Dad, I'm gonna introduce you to my new girlfriend, and then it's Larsa Pippen, and she's like, oh, you really changed the place because she's probably been there before, like with Scottie, like. Oh, you see, you moved that and you put an extra room. Okay, I dig it.
I think she got married before the 6th ring. I think that's when Pippen married her. So they're like the entire run. I don't know if she was around, but I have seen pictures of Jordan with his, you know, like current wife or the wife that he had after his first wife, with Larsa, like him and Scottie and Larsa and her, you're taking a picture together. So they've been in the same room together. They've obviously been around each other.
Yeah, I mean, you know. Well, then again, Jordan don't seem like the type of dude to invite his coworkers to his crib. He would rent out a whole other crib and be like, yo, y'all meet here, and my wife will hire somebody to cook y'all dinner.
I like how his son, he go like, he's playing, he's joking, he's laughing, he's just being playful. He's a little lit, maybe off that Socorro. And then in parentheses, they got to put tequila next to it. I didn't know what Socorro was either.
So him and Larsa got a podcast?
Yeah, they do a podcast together called Separation Anxiety.
Man.
But I mean, I was joking when I said Lena The Plug, but they profiting off it. They know everybody's talking about the fact that they're together. You know, it's Pippen's wife with Jordan's son, or Pippen's ex-wife with Jordan's son, you know what I mean? And why not capitalize on it? Like some people, like I think we come from the shame society. Like we back in the day where people was like, keep your shames in the dark. And people like, if you're gonna try to shame me, I'm gonna profit off of this, bro.
Shine a brighter light on it.
Yeah. And monetize it in one way or another. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, shout out to them. I wish them the best, man. Hopefully,
love is love, man. You know, well, I don't know if they're in love yet, but like, you know, attraction is attraction. So at the end of the day, you know, if it's meant to be for them, it's meant to be for them. But I'll tell you this, I would imagine that everyone involved except the two of them would wish that they didn't have to get together.
You're right.
I would bet you all the Pippen children and all the Jordans, except which one is it? Mike Jr. Marcus. The other one, he would prefer Tito. That's the Tito of the call him Tito Jordan. Nah, but like I'm sure everybody else would prefer them not to be together.
Yeah, because it makes everything awkward.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, Keef, man, this is something I seen that I had to like bring up to. Have you heard? Carrie Hilson made a tweet. Does Carrie Hilson still making music? I haven't heard a joint from her in a while, but you know, this tweet got some attention. She probably writes a lot of music. She says a man will brag about not being in the streets, but will be on social media, habitually tossing out and returning subliminal bait with women he finds attractive, making new friends, lining his pockets with options, collecting void fillers, creating methods of having his ego stroke, giving attention and conversation, and moving the finalist offline into his phone and eventually meeting up. Just because we can't see you doesn't mean it's not happening. You can just take the back roads. This destination is still the same. Let's just call a spade a spade. That seems really targeted. Like she meant that for a specific person, right? But it also was something that I ain't gonna front. I didn't know that, like, until about maybe 3 years ago, my current girlfriend had to put me on the game. I didn't know it was so egregious to like a girl's picture, right? Because in our eyes, it was like, I could be doing more if I really wanted to pursue this girl. I'm just like giving her a like and scrolling on. But she had to point it out to me, and I get it now. If it's a super thirst trappy picture, right, and your name shows up, that's embarrassing to your significant other.
Come on now, you had to know something about it, because remember when Instagram there was like a big announcement, like we're not putting the list of people who like a bunch of pictures. It was something to that effect.
I think your likes were public. People could go in and see everything you liked.
Yeah, but then they took that away, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. And we were like, yeah, that's a pretty good look. A lot of dudes are like, let's go and just like beach picture, like vacation photo, like model picture, like all going nuts on it. And I think I could see where she's saying I don't know if it's a slippery slope, but it is a step on the continuum of meeting another person online.
Yeah, because you're making another woman feel better because you're liking a picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's funny. I noticed something on Facebook now, because the story, what happened on Instagram now is you can just like somebody's stories if they thirst trapping and no one sees it except for them. I mean, if they ever want to like put you out, it shows up on their side. But I see now on Facebook, if you like heart something or put like a little message on it in their stories, that shit shows up on the story. So now people see the thirst trappy nigga saying a comment on every picture. I'm like, does this nigga know about this feature? Because he is looking wild right now.
I could definitely see what she's saying. I think it's whenever you think about social media, you got to think about nowadays what's the real life equivalent of what you did, because it's a real thing. It's very much part of our lives, and that's probably the equivalent of you with your lady and you're looking back at somebody. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and in front of all her friends, because now if her friends are in that same social network with you, they're like, oh, look at a boyfriend like this, friend center. You look like you just the most thirsty nigga because your name shows. Like, you ain't do that. You liked it just like everyone else.
Right,
like,
right.
You liked it first.
Yeah. But and I guess when you think about it in real life, like let's say it's a very attractive person and you don't give like sexy eyes, but you give more than a 1 second look, right? And I guess and it's a very attractive person, and maybe your significant other sees you doing it. If you'd be like, yo, come on now, you see what I see, like you gotta what do you want? What do you want from me?
I gotta sit here and pretend.
Exactly. So I think like just really kind of analogizing it or whatever the word is to real life. I think it's kind of like that.
Nah, it's like, how motherfuckers be like, I was today years old.
Yeah.
When I learned, I was literally 36 years old when I learned that shit. Like, I was like, why? It's not that serious. How could it be that? I guess, and then also I didn't think about it from the other end. Like, if I don't see shirtless niggas on Insta, my algorithm not gonna show that up. But let's say you came across a shirtless nigga and your girl's name is first up on there, you're like, yo, what is this?
Yeah.
You turn into Keke Palmer's boyfriend.
Yeah, man. It's I think, well, for me, I just never took social media super seriously, but looking back at people who did even at the beginning. Like it makes so much more sense now. And sometimes I wish I was more open to understanding that part of how, because we just knew computers for typing reports and playing games, and then social media popped up, and it was this whole new dynamic.
You can find a girl you liked in 2nd grade now.
That's right. Or somebody who's you see from time to time on let's say on the college, you see them on campus, and y'all don't talk. You probably don't even know each other's don't know much beyond their names, and you click a like or you comment, you like 3 pictures, and somebody may be taking note of it, and things could happen. Usually it doesn't. 99 out of 100 times it does not happen that way, but that 1 out of the 100, I think that's what people are wary of.
That's all it takes, right? Yeah. Social media has ruined many a relationship, man. Yeah. in his young age.
And many
what you think
times
about this new thing,
unjustifiably.
Threads? You think Threads is gonna pop off? It's the competitor to Twitter.
Yeah, it's that Facebook touch, man. I mean, people ain't feeling Twitter's old, not that Facebook isn't, but Facebook just knows how to make products and make people use them for the most part. And I think there's something there. I don't know if it's a Twitter killer, but it's definitely another thing for people to spend their time on. I haven't used it. I'm not very familiar with Twitter's features and its true value, but from what I hear, like it's legit.
Yeah. They were smart for linking it with Instagram, because like to your point, we look at Facebook as being old, but Facebook changed their name to Meta, right? And it's like it kind of gives it a different feel. Know it's Facebook, but it's like this is a Meta product. It's not a Facebook product. So like your Instagram automatically gets you into Threads. You know what I mean? Because it's already set up. So you know what I mean. You just get the boom right away, and then it's like I think your following comes over too. So it's like that's big. Yeah, that's big for a lot of people. Huge. So. Yeah, no, I think competition's great. I love competition, brings the best out of everybody. So you know what I'm saying? If they acting funny over there, Twitter, you know what I mean, having somebody over here is going to only bring better innovation and bring more stuff up. And then I don't know if this was part of like, remember Elon and Zuckerberg were beefing about having an MMA fight. Yeah, I don't know if that was like the precursor to this, like Elon knew this was coming, but it definitely it adds. I think it's going to bring better product to the game. And I am big on Twitter nowadays. I like Twitter. It's I get a lot of information on there, and we're gonna see what it brings up, what happens. I don't think the Instagram crowd, like I go to Instagram for something different than what I go to Twitter for. So I don't know how that's gonna correlate in Twitter form, but only time could tell.
I think Facebook, I don't know if they'll figure it out, but I'm pretty sure they're probably thinking about the same thing that you're thinking about, that how people use Instagram is very different from how they use Twitter or what's going to be Threads. So I'd imagine that I don't know if they have the right answer to what you just addressed, but I'm pretty sure that they're thinking about that kind of thing. Yeah,
we're going to see, man. Keef, man.
By the way, in real life, you talk about Elon and Mark Zuckerberg. I saw a picture of Mark Zuckerberg the other day with Israel Adesanya. Dude is swole.
Yeah, and Volk. He was with Volk. Yeah, I seen that picture too. Now he does real MMA training. That's why I don't know, like,
and he surfs and shit.
Advantage. Huh?
He surfs and all that type of shit. So
he got himself right. That's the billionaire way nowadays. Like you see what what's his name? Bezos did. Like Bezos sold too.
A word?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Got on the peptides. You know what I'm saying? It's like your turn, Elon.
yeah.
But I think Zuckerberg does like jujitsu for real. Like he definitely might kick Elon's ass if he need to.
Yeah, I think he won some kind of trophy or something like that.
Yeah, he won all the smoke, man. Yeah. And not just and he tight too, because Apple coming out with that VR. He like, I've been working on this meta shit. He like, how y'all coming out? I got the Oculus. How y'all coming out with the Apple eye joint?
Yeah,
that shit look fly too. It's like $3,000 though.
Yeah.
Yo, another episode in the books, my guy. I'm happy to have you here on Injury. But you know what I'm saying? My man still came out, you know what I'm saying? Like Isaiah Thomas. Y'all don't even get that reference. He still came out in the finals and let it drop 30 on him. So thank you for being here, man. Where can my people find you at?
Instagram, _35 and potentially Threads.
They thinking the other Isaiah Thomas probably when I make that reference, right?
Yeah.
Boston Celtics running shit.
Yeah.
But yo, you can find your boy DJ Playboy on Twitter at DJ Playboy. You can find me on Instagram at PLICCAPLAYBOY. I'm gonna set that Threads up too. I'm gonna dip my toe and see what is popping. I'll have that for you next episode. Also follow Perfect Talk on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio. Check out the website, www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. Every episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast, I got the new releases on there, the motivational moments, my radio show that I do with DJ Show, Money Talks Radio, and much more things coming this year. So keep an eye out for that. Also check us out on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever your podcasts are found. Shout out to everybody checking us out on YouTube. We holding it down for y'all. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hop in the comments, do what it do. Keef, what you watching nowadays, brother?
Apple TV, a show called Hijack with Idris Elba.
Oh yeah, I heard good things about that. It's like a miniseries, right?
Yeah, it's a mini series or limited series. The shit is dope. It's a British series about a hijacked plane. It almost feels as a very Passenger 57 feel
Meets
to it.
24, I heard, right?
Yeah, something like that. Like for me, like Passenger 57 meets like The Firm or something like that. Because the star Idris Elba, he's not like, usually the formula of an action movie where there's a dude who has like a very, I don't know, hands-on profession where he could handle people. Like he might
specific
be like
set of skills.
So yeah, exactly. With a specific set of skills, like he's a cop back home or whatever it is, and he's doing something. He's going to do some normal shit, but there's some terrorists coming to attack the normal shit. So you think Die Hard, Passenger 57, whatever else. But he's a corporate negotiator, so he can't fight. So I respect them for putting the writers to work, because it's like now you got to make it interesting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
He ain't just John Wick out there with no superpowers.
Exactly. Like it's like Passenger 57. Like this dude, Wesley Snipes had no superpowers, weaker than Batman, but fucking everybody up.
Everybody up.
But this joint, is weird. It's a very good show, but he's just like talking the shit out of everybody, and it's very different. A very different kind of action movie.
No, that's dope. Well, no, I made the 24 comparison because I could be wrong. I heard it was shot in like the show goes in real time, so it's like if it's 6 episodes, it's supposed to be a 5-hour time lapse. Or is that?
Yeah. I could see this being like a 24 because it's like somewhere between 6 and 8 hour flight from like Dubai to London. However long that takes.
Okay, yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah, it's a long flight. All right, I'm gonna check that out. I won't be using Apple TV enough, but I know my girl got it, so I gotta definitely get in there because the Emmy nominations just dropped. I've seen a couple joints on there. So
Apple TV's tough. Like I like it because as with a lot of Apple, even the products and stuff like that, it's not like Netflix where there's just loads of movies. You spend longer scrolling for a good movie than you do actually watching the actual. You be there for an hour and realize, oh shit, I'm still scrolling. Right?
Because the library's less, you saying?
The library's less, but when they release something, it's like heavy hitting. You know what I'm saying? So like they don't have, it usually goes by seasons. Like let's say between January and March, you might be watching, this is your go-to show. Like they'll have the one go-to and maybe like a weaker one, almost like HBO back in this day, like the heavy hitter, and then like
this is the summer setup.
Exactly. So right now it's the summer setup. Then they might do Severance, and then so the summer setup looks like it might be like Hijack or the show Silo, and then the smaller joint is the show Platonic. That's like a 30-minute comedy.
Okay. Who's that? Who's in that one?
That's Seth Rogen.
Okay, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Seth Rogen and that Australian lady who's in like Mad Stuff. I got her name.
I seen somebody the other day.
Rose Byrne
was on a podcast or something. They were talking about it that they were on it. So
yeah.
I watched a show called MILF Manor. Probably the dumbest TV show I ever seen in my life, man.
What's it about?
It's about like these moms got a date. The moms are one end of the dating pool, and their sons are the other end of the dating pool, and they gotta see who could get a connection.
Is there any comedy in there? Because it sounds very funny.
It sounds like it was made up on 30 Rock.
Yeah.
It definitely sound like one of them 30 Rock shows that play in the background and shit.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, they do have a comedy. Like I think every show realizes nowadays they gotta put a little bit of comedy in there to lighten things up a little bit. But no, it just seemed like this is where reality TV is at now. How silly can we get? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because that is very. But I mean, at least half of these shows, people say, "Oh, they're really good." Like Sure, well, I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes after the season if they're canceled or picked up. But
me and my girl like watching dating shows. I don't know why, but we like just sitting there watching dating shows and then commenting on the people and be like, "Oh, that motherfucker's lying." That you know what I mean? Can't trust him. That type of shit.
It's always good to have like that show or that genre of shows where both of y'all can get together, because I'm sure there's a whole slew of shit that you like she doesn't, and the vice versa. So to know that I dating. I hate reality shows. I don't know how much you like them, but not to know that, well, I like reality shows if they're dating shows. I think that's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's in the Venn diagram. It is definitely like dating shows. I hate reality shows, but I walk in and just like keep hating on. I'll be like, these bitches yelling at each other again, and then the next thing I know, I'm like commenting on like, what she just say?
You catch it in the background while you're doing something.
We're like, no, she didn't. Just wilding. But that's how they impose me in every time, bro. She watched some shit called Dance Moms, which is like an old show, but she just be watching it. I'm like, yo, they exploiting the kids.
And then you sit down there and just watch them exploiting them kids.
Like, this bitch is diabolical. But yeah, another one I'm watching is The Idol. I don't know. I don't think The Weeknd. I don't know. I think The Weeknd should be making TV shows, man. It's a weird show.
Yeah, I heard it was trash and that it was a cancel, but then HBO said it's not canceled, but it seems that it's pretty canceled.
It seems like everybody wants to, like the reviews I'm getting on it, they want to cancel it. They got to get better writers. Like you know how it looks like. Remember Belly was like very good visually, but it probably could have used better writing.
Yeah,
that's what I think. Like this type of like these niggas is making a dope looking video, but it's like I got to get some writers here to bring this story together. Like shit taking too long to develop. It's just the scenes are mad cringy.
Yeah,
you like, oh, this is sex scenes, right?
Like
what am I watching?
Like that?
Huh?
Like torture, like sex torture kind of.
Yeah, it's like 50 Shades of Grey, but more like a darker type of like feel on it. And it's like it's not even necessary for the storyline.
Yeah.
So it's like it's weird. But we'll see. I'll check out the last episode. I'll give y'all my final review on it, and then but I'm waiting for something new. I need something new to watch.
Like Swarm, man. So when I was watching Swarm, I was like, I want to like it because it's just the cast, the characters. You know, I'd imagine it's like The Idol. The Weeknd's on it. I like The Weeknd, but
yeah, you want to support like somebody whose work you like, and it's like I'm trying too hard here. You supposed to be entertaining me, nigga. What's going on?
And that's Johnny Depp's daughter, right?
Yeah.
You kind of want to you rooting for her too and all that type of stuff.
I feel bad because Johnny Depp can't watch it. He can't even watch his daughter's work. This chick's nipples is out all show. Like they find a way to put her nipples out all the time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I think they got some Me Too issues going on. I didn't read into it because I don't like spoilers. So I was like, once I finish the show, I'm gonna look into it. But I think they got some issues going on behind the scenes too. And I was like, I can see why. Cover this bitch's nipples up sometimes.
That's terrible.
But and you know it's HBO. You come for the nipples. It's like not high enough.
Enough. Please cover up. Please put on a sweater.
But yeah, man, that's the other episode in the books. Keef, safe recovery, man. Definitely get well soon. We need you back on your feet. And yeah, we up out of here, man. Say goodbye to the people, brother.
Peace.
Peace.